Hello guys and welcome back to Aquatic Life and Theme Parks, and in today's video we are going to be starting a brand new project on the channel. I have got my hands on the Fluval Flex 2.0 57 litre aquarium from Fluval, and we are going to be making and building a brand new aquarium for obviously this tank. In this video I'm going to be covering what comes with the tank. You're going to watch me build the scape and watch the tank really just come together into one big, piece. And then obviously at the end, revealing what fish we're buying for the tank and revealing what the fish looks like in the tank once it is settled in for a few weeks. So we are going to start off with some, what it comes with the tank, and then I'll be explaining some of the key details and features that are in this tank. So let's get started. So now I am going to be talking about what actually comes with the Fluval Flex 2.0. So the first thing that it comes with is a filter. Now this is just a little filter, but it does look quite nice. You actually do get a nice little rubber ring or rubber band around it. That's just going to stop any additional vibrations in the tank. You do also get two add-ons and extensions. So you do get this extension, which just makes water move 2 ways around the tank. And then you also do get as well a spray bar, which is just going to, make the water move a little bit more faster and, oxygenate the water properly as well. The second thing that you get with it is filter baskets, and so you can add any additional media that you want. These are actually going to become really handy. So say you wanted to add, I don't know, Biomax or, peat, you'll be able to add that into those filter baskets and add them to your aquarium. And I think that's really good that Fluval is doing that. It will, let you customize your aquarium the way you want to. You don't go empty-handed though with media. You do get these sort of carbon media things and the frames, and this has all of the sort of media. It's like what you get with the normal filters. It's like not filter sponge, it's like filter media pretty much. I think they call it polycarbon or something like that. So that you get 2 of them, and they slide also in the back of the aquarium behind the board. And then you do get a remote for the light. The light is not actually Bluetoothed, it is remoted, and I will show you any sort of additional features or the colours and the different features and lighting sort of elements that you can do with the light. Now you do have to buy a heater yourself, and that actually does go down the back of the aquarium as well. So any of your equipment, your main equipment, will go down the back of the aquarium, which I actually think is really good. The reason being is because sometimes it does look quite bad when you do have, your filter in on the side of the tank, your heater on the side of the tank. It doesn't really let your fish have enough swim room. And then of course, adding to that, you don't really get enough sort of building space when it comes to building hardscape. So I think that it's good that all of the stuff can go down the back of the filter. So now I'm going to be talking about any features that the aquarium has, or any differences that the aquarium has from the Fluval Flex 1.0. Let's have a look at some of the details and features that come with the Fluval Flex 2.0. So it actually does come with this feeding lid, which is going to be really handy. You don't have to fully open the tank lid, put the food in. That's just going to be really handy to just quickly open, put the food in, and then quickly shut again. The actual lid itself, as you can see, the light is obviously there, just here. And then you also have these sort of, like when you open your car bonnet maybe, and you get those sort of pegs to hold the bonnet up. You actually get these on the Fluval Flex 2.0 that just rests on the glass. So, it saves you that you don't have to, open up your whole tank and do a water change. You can just stick the pegs on the side of the glass, and that's just really handy. So they are just some of the features, and I'll go through a few more features as we go along. So now I am going to be putting in all of the equipment into the actual tank itself. I won't film this bit because it can be quite, quite difficult at some points. So I won't film this bit, so I'll bring you back once all of the filter, the lights, and obviously the filter media is all in the tank. So the filter, heater, and everything else is in. It was quite easy to put the filter in. It was just putting the filter down at the back of the tank and then just attaching the spray nozzles as well. The heater was really easy, so the heater actually goes behind the board as well. Now, the heater is also from Fluval. I will put the name up on the screen and obviously the box as well. So now it is time to put our substrate in. So we're going to be putting down a plant substrate for aquarium plants. So the thing that you can see here, just right here, just here on your, like the left-hand side of your screen, that's going to be the base layer. Then we're going to cap it with sand. So this time lapse will be me putting in this substrate and spreading it out equally and evenly. That nutrient layer in, and it is looking really nice. I used my hands to spread it out, as you saw, and then afterwards I went over it with the just the spreader to spread it out evenly. I'm now going to be adding a capping layer, which is just some Weo Cimarron sand. It's a natural sand. It looks really, really nice. You know, there's a few, I think it's a coarser sand, so a few like little bits of pebbles and rocks. So you are going to see a time lapse of me putting that in now, and then obviously spreading it out, and then I will come back after I've done that. Time to put in the second layer of sand. Now this sand actually looks really nice. The one I put in just a minute ago, it's a more of a coarser sand, so there's a bit more rock and, you know, sort of sand, but like a gravelly sand, if that makes sense. Like the stuff you find at a beach, but not at a beach, if that makes sense. A more gravelly and coarser sand. So we are now going to be putting in the Fish Keeper aquarium substrate. This is another smoother sand. So this is a lesser or non-coarser sand. Now I think that's going to look really nice, obviously the contrast with the plant nutrients underneath, and then that capping layer of sort of the coarser sand, and then obviously this smooth layer of this sort of brownish cinnamon sand as well. It is the same sand that I used in the Betta fish. If you haven't seen those videos, make sure you go check them out. But it's the same sand that I used for the Betta fish. I had a spare bag of it laying around, so I'm going to use it in this aquarium because why not? I'm not going to bore you with me putting it in and then flatten it because you've already seen it twice. So I will bring you back afterwards when the sand is fully in and the substrate is complete. So the substrate is in. Now I did add another layer of substrate. So this is a 4-layer substrate. I ordered this grey sand off of Amazon. It actually looks really, really nice. It's really nice contrast. You know, you've got that plant matter, like the plant nutrients, and you've got that coarser sand, and then you've got 2 smooth layers of sand. So I'm now going to be adding in the root tabs for the plants. Now I ordered these off Amazon. These are API root tabs. These, you know, work a treat. I'll probably use all 10, if not just 5 or maybe even 6. Depending how I feel, but I'll do 3 at the front, 3 at the back, and 3 in the middle. And then I might add an extra 3 maybe just in different areas. So I'll do that now, and obviously there'll be a time lapse of me showing you how to do it. So I'll be back after I have put in the root tabs. Now going to see me putting all of the hardscape in. We've put in the root tabs in, and now they are just waiting for plants. You're now going to be seeing me put in the hardscape, so that's the wood, the rock, and anything else. I'm also going to be adding a bit of decorative substrate, a few decorative rocks, just at the front and around the tank as well once everything is in. So I'll bring you back after the time lapse of me putting in the hardscape. the look of that little hardscape there, and I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. I do really think, honestly, that contrast with the rock and the bits of wood like intertwining each other will look really nice. And I think, you know, the fish that I'm getting for this tank, that's where it comes from. It's sort of natural, you know, that's its natural landscape. And I think that's going to look really, really nice. So now I'm going to start planting. I'm not going to be filming the planting bit, as it can get quite, you know, stressful and a little bit, you know, fiddly as well. So I will bring you back once the tank is filled up with plants and all of the filter is on. It's been a few weeks since we put the plants in, and they are growing really, really nice. I'm going to be going over what plants I bought for the tank and why I bought them, and my opinion on how they look. Now, just before we continue, I do apologise about the pronunciation of these, or the pronunciation of these plants. You know, these plants' names are quite hard to pronounce, so just bear with me. I will put a bit of text up on your screen so you can read the plant's name, but my pronunciation might sound completely off, so just bear with me. First plant I bought is Anubias Nana. Now this plant is really nice. I bought 2 pots of this stuff, and it's right at the front under this piece of wood, just on a piece of rock. It looks absolutely amazing. I put it in the Amazon tank when we first set the Amazon tank up quite a few years ago now. It grows really nicely. It's a hardy plant and it's an epiphyte, so it doesn't go in the substrate. It grows on the rock, and then finds its roots down to obviously the substrate. So that's going to look really nice at the back. There is also another epiphyte at the back as well. That is Java fern. So that is it looks very jungly back there. I will try and get a bit of footage of that Java fern, but that is at the far back side on a rock just behind all of those plants. So now let's move on to the next plant. The next plant that you can see, the broadleaf just in front of you, is Echinodorus Bleheri. Now, I have got this in my Amazon tank, and you know, it is probably one of my favourite plants. It grows really nicely in a tank. I had to buy it again. It looks really nice back there. It's, as I said, that area back there is going to be the main area where that fish will hopefully hang out. It will, you know, give that really nice jungle look. It will make a really nice hiding spot for the fish as well. So we've got 2 more plants to cover, and then that is it. You can't see it, but the next plant is called Crypotocoryne undulata broadleaf. Now it is under this rock here, as you can just see. Now that rock is there for a reason. The wood is actually just starting to float up and down. So I am keeping that rock just so the wood does, you know, properly, you know, lose all of that air and stops floating. So it is behind that rock there. It's in all of that sort of massive green jungle at the back. Hopefully it is growing perfectly fine, but it looks like a really nice plant, and I'm really happy with it. And back in that back corner, as you can see, where all of that green is, that is going to be where, hopefully, where the fish chooses to hide. You know, if it feels shy, you know, it can come out, but chooses to hide the most. So let's move on to the next plant. I decided to get these little moss balls just for a bit of detail, and they are looking really nice. You know, I've sort of let them go where they want to go. Where the filters sort of placed them, and where I'm filling the tank up, where they go. So they're sort of just scattered across the tank. There's 6 of these, or 5 or 6 of these in here, and they're sort of just all over the tank, and I think it gives that really nice effect. The plant that sort of has these sort of rounded leaves is, the plant is called Nymphoides species Taiwan. Now this is a really nice plant, and I've bought 1 pot of this stuff. It looks absolutely amazing. The growth on it is incredible. It's going to give that really nice effect. What I want this tank to look like at the back is a full-on jungle for the fish to go and hide in, swim in and out of, and obviously it looks really, really nice. I'm really happy with it. I'm sorry about the blur on the camera. I will try and get a little bit of good footage to obviously overlay it if this footage isn't good. But it does look really, really nice, and I'm really happy to see that the growth is doing really well. The foreground plant that you can see on your screen right now is Pogostemon helferi. Now it looks really nice. It's a nice foreground plant. There's a little bit down in the corner. This is where most of it is. It's growing really nicely. None of it has floated up yet, which is good. Hopefully it's sending those roots down to that nutrient-based substrate, and then obviously it will grow really nicely and hopefully cover the whole of the foreground. That is all of the plants in the brand new tank. The next stage is to get the fish, and I can now reveal that the fish that is going in this tank is a Crowntail Betta, which is going to be really, really nice to see. So when we come back to this tank, the fish will be acclimating, and then I will get some footage once the fish has settled down, obviously showing you the fish in its full colours, and obviously swimming around and exploring its new home. It's been a few weeks since we added the Crowntail Betta into the aquarium. Now on your screen right now you can obviously see the beautiful Crowntail Betta. Now of course this is a tank bred species of betta, they're not wild, but honestly the stunning colours on this betta fish is beautiful, and it has really been enjoying its brand new home in this aquarium. Now you can just see it here, and I'll get a few shots at the end, but it's really, really nice turquoisey, reddish, purplish tail colour. Looks really, really nice. Now this isn't the only fish in this aquarium. Down at the bottom there are three striped or three lined Corydoras. Now these are completely fine with the betta fish. The reason being is because the betta fish stays more at the top. As you can see though, the betta fish and the Corydoras, they are not fussed at all, being in a tank together over the last few weeks. There's not been really any sort of bullying or any sort of action that I need to take to remove the Corydoras. This betta fish is a really chilled out betta fish. And obviously, as you can see, this betta fish does also go down to the bottom to hunt for the Corydoras' food. And to be honest, there's been no major problems since we added the two fish together in the same aquarium, which is a really good sign to see that this betta fish is calm. And obviously it knows I know in the future that some betta fishes can be kept obviously with some species, and some obviously more chilled out bettas. Obviously ask your local fish shop before you go ahead and buy any other species of fish to put into a betta fish tank. Now if it did go wrong, I obviously do have my Amazon tank with the Sturbeyes Corydoras. I would have just moved these guys into that tank and they would have lived in there, but I would definitely kept an eye on it for the day that we got them, and they were completely fine. And as you can see now, they are completely fine as well. So I hope you have enjoyed, obviously, watching me build this amazing scape. I think this is probably one of my most favourite scapes that I've done. I love how the wood intertwines together. The plants are growing really, really nice. And obviously the fish have been exploring everywhere. It's really nice to see the Corydoras, swimming between the roots of the plant, the roots of the wood. And then obviously the betta fish sometimes poking his head out of the plants and that. So now I'm going to be compiling a little bit of a montage with just some calm music over it of the betta fish and obviously the Corydoras. And then obviously that will be the end. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video of me setting up the Crowntail Betta aquarium. Obviously by the time this video comes out, it will already, or most likely will be June soon. So I'm not going to be filming a monthly update for June. I will film it in July. So stay aquatic everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.